Hello Taurus, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free. It does not cost you anything. If there's something you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. We begin today with the Princess of Pentacles. This is a very kind of very open card, right? Because this card represents every potential within you manifesting, right? This is a card that sometimes promises a wealth of resources for something. Okay, so you could be working on a project and we really are hoping to get kind of everything that we need coming in order to complete this project or do this work or build this business or whatever it might be, right? So it kind of feels like we're receiving all of the tools that we need. We're receiving all of the resources, all of the raw materials that we need. Yeah, it's a very good sign. Let's put that into some context, okay? Let's see what else is going on with this Princess of Pentacles. We got a 3. Yeah, this is, you're working on something that I think you really feel identified with. Right, it's something that is an expression of yourself. It's very artistic in that way, right? And we've got the Hierophant. Okay, interesting. And now we've got an Ace of Pentacles. We've got more earth energy, a lot of earth here. We've got a higher perspective, maybe a more objective viewpoint here with the Queen of Swords. And we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Your life is about to become incredibly amazing. All of your activities really here, whatever this work is, whatever your project is, it's going to succeed. It's going to be beautiful and wonderful, and it's going to be expansive, right? And I think really what that's telling me is that you may have your sights set on a certain goal, but this is going to grow beyond your expectations, right? So we kind of have to be prepared for that. That's, I think, why we need all of these raw materials, all of these resources, because it's really going to take off. It's really going to grow. And, you know, the resources, not just money and like literally raw materials, it's the reserves of energy, you know, because this is something that it's going to grow bigger than you thought it was. It's going to require more from you in order to, you know, to maintain that. So let's keep going here with the rest of our cards. Path of the Serpent. We've got a little bit of doubt with the 7 of Swords. This could be a few different things, so we'll leave that for interpretation in a little bit here. We've got a Knight of Pentacles, more of that earth energy, which is very good. We've got a 10. Yeah, okay, a 10 of Wands here. So it really is about your reserves of energy. Okay, and it's almost in a way, it's something that we're hoping to keep kind of small. We're hoping to keep it kind of quiet, you know, but I think that it really is going to, it's going to expand, and it's going to require you to reassess the future that you thought you were, you know, that you were headed toward, okay? Because the Knight of Pentacles is the one that always looks to the future to try to see what that picture is. What is the end goal? What is the picture that we see of where this is going, right? And I think it's causing you to kind of reevaluate some things in your life. I mean, this is a very good problem to have, right? Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And I think there's good. We're going to put Alien Simon Mork Ripley right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, Taurus. So don't even ask, okay? But it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. And if at any point during this program you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction, just a guess, first thing that comes to your mind. Put it down in the comments, okay? We can do it together. It's a good way to practice our intuition, and practice makes perfect, right? Let's take a look around the room. We see a trio of major arcana energies. We have the Hierophant, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Eon. Rebirth, reawakening. This is now kind of a, what I like, it's kind of a trial by fire. It's kind of a baptism of fire. It's a doorway to your future. Okay, and this is kind of like things are really getting out of hand here. You know, you were aiming for this kind of modest goal, but I think it's going to expand. This something, whatever you're doing is really going to take off. It's really going to blow up and become bigger and bigger and bigger to where your whole life is going to be changed. You know, it's really that kind of a leveling up thing. And with the Hierophant down here, this is kind of where we were thinking we would stop. Very practical energy. It's very fixed. We had a very specific goal in mind. We've got the resources that we need. We kind of, we're looking for this to be a stable and steady thing, something that's going to give that kind of stability to our lives, you know. We didn't expect it to really blow up like this, but something is really going to take off. The Jupiter energy here with the Wheel of Fortune, it's expanding kind of out of control, you know. And again, a very good problem to have, but it is going to require more effort from you to keep up with this. Okay, and I think that's where we run into, if there is a difficulty here, it's going to be with this 10 of Wands. Feeling that we just aren't up to the task in some ways. Feeling that this is just, this is a lot of energy. It's going to require a lot of time. And also with the 10, I was going to call it the 2 of Wands. I always want to call it the 2 of Wands because it has those 2 right in the front. Sometimes this card is asking us whether we have enough help in our lives. Okay. Are there close people to you? Do you have coworkers? Do you have business associates, friends, family that are helping you to carry some of the burden here? This is something, maybe it's a family business. Maybe this is your own personal business, but it's growing so kind of exponentially that you might have to start thinking about getting some help, right? Getting someone to take over some of the work, so that you don't run yourself ragged. That's what this 10 of Wands is saying to me, especially in this position of what you don't want. This is the obstacle here, feeling that you have to carry this entire burden yourself. And it's a burden, right? I mean, this is extraordinary success, but it does feel like it's weighing heavily on your shoulders. The more this thing grows, the less sleep you get at night. You know what I mean? Because you're always going to be working on this, yeah. But what is this, right? Well, we've got our major arcana cards. We've got the fire energy, and I think the fire is really important. The one thing I noticed we're missing is the water energy. You notice that? You notice that there's no water here. We got a little bit in the Queen of Swords, right? But that's kind of, this is maybe a card. This might be a little tricky here, this one. This might be a sly card because I wonder if there's part of us during this process that is wondering, why don't I enjoy this more? You know, the lack of water energy here seems that it's very much, it's very ambitious, it's very focused, you're very determined. You identify with this. This is, you couldn't imagine doing anything else with your time, right? But then there's that part of you that's kind of like, why doesn't it feel better? Why am I not really enjoying it as much as, you know, one would think? And I think that's a legitimate question. Okay, and I wonder if this Queen of Swords, because it is water and air together, it's kind of the air wondering about the water. It's kind of like, well, I know the water's in here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it, you know. And then coupling that with the 10 of Wands, it seems like we are just kind of overburdening, overworking ourselves. Maybe we do need it when the time comes. You know, I don't know that we're there yet. But when the time comes where this business or this project or this life, whatever it is, goes to that next level, we've got to already have systems in place so that we're not carrying the entire workload ourselves and then not enjoying a second of it and then burning ourselves out, running ourselves ragged. Okay, so the Queen of Swords is asking those questions now while we still have time, you know, before we get right in the middle of all of this and then we don't have time to ask the question. Okay, by then it's kind of, you know, I don't know, too late in a way. And that connects us with our air energy, I think, a little bit with the Seven of Swords, because there's a little bit here with the Seven of Swords, and I don't think you're there yet, but when the time comes, you will get here. Okay? And this is committing to our task. We're going straight ahead, right? We're on the straight and narrow. We're doing it. We're not wavering from our will, our goal. But there is that hint, that thought in the back of our mind, would I be happier doing something else? This is part of the discourse that the Queen of Swords has kind of with itself, with the heart energy, the water energy. Would I be happier doing something else? Yeah, this is maybe wildly successful, beyond my imagination, incredibly amazing, but would I be happier just living a more simple life, not having this success, not having all of these responsibilities, just living a very simple and humble life somewhere where there weren't so many responsibilities, right? I think we've all had that thought at some point in our life that, would I be happier if I just didn't have the responsibilities that I do? Well, maybe for a time we'd feel happier because we would get a chance to rest, we'd get a little more sleep at night. But I don't think we would be happier. But that's a question you're going to have to ask. Okay? And this card is you asking yourself that question. Now, let's see if we use one of our affirmation cards. This is the Language of Flowers. Beautiful cards. If we use these, can we get an answer to that question of the Seven of Swords? Would I be happier? Would I be happier doing something else? The Foxglove, confidence. Be what you want to see. Be what you want to see. Well, what do you want to see? I guess that's the question that is really isn't that what the Knight of Pentacles is all about? We just got through saying that. What are they seeing in the future? What are they looking at down the road? You're in the middle of all of this work, all of this effort, right? And we see, I think it started relatively recently too, because that Ace of Pentacles. But it's something that you have absolute confidence in, something that you have absolute skill and talent, and you're more than capable of doing this. In fact, you're doing it so well, it's going to really blow up beyond your imagination. But the Foxglove here is asking, what does the Knight of Pentacles look at? Well, the Knight of Pentacles is looking at the 10 of Pentacles, right? It's not a play on words. It's just called the Knight 10. Kind of sounds like 9-10. What is that ideal best life for you, right? Be what you want to see. Okay, what do we want to see? We have to know that. So if we have to be what we want to see, then we have to know what we're looking at. Okay, so we have to know what is the future like? What do you want the next year to be like for you? Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years, or 5 or 10 minutes even, right? And then we have to start working toward that now. If you want a life that is more filled with water, right? That is more, let's say, easygoing, more intuitive, more connected, more compassionate or passionate, more connected, more pleasurable, more joyful, more fun, right? We have to start doing that now. Okay, if we wait until all of this is already taken off and we're right in the middle of it, it's going to be kind of, it's going to be bad timing, let's say. So what that leads us into, I think, with the timing is, of course, the Wheel of Fortune, because that is the cosmic timepiece. That's Spirit's wristwatch, right? And this is saying, look, things are happening when they're happening, and the message of the card, anyway, is saying that the right approach here is for you to, there it is, the Wheel of Fortune. The right approach is for you to adapt yourself, adapt your energy to what is happening. The fact that this business is taking off, or this project, or whatever it might be, creative works, it could be a relationship thing even, right? It could be literally getting into a relationship that really gets more serious than you thought and taking things to the next level. We have to adapt to the flow of energy as it happens. We can't say, hey, the timing's not right. Can we wait on this for a while? Can I hold off a little while? And so when we're talking about being what we want to see and finding that water energy, finding that joy and that love and that happiness in what we're doing. We have to find that now. We can't say later down the road when all of this whole thing is starting to grow and really take off that we say, wait, stop the presses. Telling the flowers, stop growing because I have questions I have to ask myself. You know what I mean? That's why we have to do it now. Because once this ball gets rolling, we can't hit the pause button to then ask those questions in real time. We can and we should always be evaluating how we feel and kind of what we want and what the future holds. But I think the lesson really is that we're not going to be able to stop the ball from rolling. We're not going to be able to hit pause in order to figure out what's missing or what we really want or anything. So let's do it now. So when all of this really great success, this incredibly amazing growth that we see with this Jupiter energy starts to take place, we don't even need to hit the pause button. We don't feel the urge to tell Spirit, can we just stop? We don't want to tell the flowers to stop growing, right? So it's important that we do this introspection now. And I think you are. I think that's why we got the Queen of Swords up at the top of the path of the dove. Because I think this is what you are working on. I think you're trying to see, okay, this maybe with the Hierophant, maybe this was my previous goal. This was kind of the expectation that I had, right? This is what you had already decided was going to be the thing. And now it's so much more than that. It's growing, and then it's breaking through to this kind of new era, this, really unexpected future, right? So this is a fixed state, this is kind of a fixed state, or this is the doorway to a fixed state. And this is all of the growth in between. And we have to really, as this is happening or before it really gets too extreme, we've got to ask ourselves the questions. What do we really want to see? What is in our future? How do we see this thing developing and growing over time? And how can I make sure that I am enjoying it the way I should be? If this is really your identity, if this is really like an expression of yourself in a very creative way. Now, even if this is a career, a job, a relationship, it still feels like it is your creation. Because of the Three of Wands, this is you evaluating your will in such a way where this is resonating with you personally, internally. Your heart, your mind, your will, your spirit, everything is saying yes to this. Okay? And then we kind of wonder, okay, well, what does that mean in the future? What does that mean at the end of this week? What does this mean long term, 5-10 years, right? And how can you be sure that you are managing your time and your energy in such a way that you get to benefit from this? Okay. I wonder if this is like a business and there are a lot of employees and you, like maybe it's a family business or something like that, but I feel there's a lot of concern for others. And so when we get really down to it with that 10 of Wands, it's kind of go, 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 burning the candle at both ends, taking your work home with you, that sort of thing. Because not only is this just something you're doing for yourself. Maybe this is going from like a hobby to a profession, right? Maybe this is going from just a kind of small local business to now huge international, like you were on Shark Tank or something, Now it feels like you have a responsibility to others. Well, now I've got 20 people I've got to employ or more, right? Now this is kind of the full-time thing. This is what I'm feeding my family with. So you don't have time to slow down and enjoy things. You don't have time to slow down and even ask yourself the questions. Yeah. The Ace of Pentacles in the background here, again, I feel like this is something that you recently started. I feel like this is something that is, maybe a year old, if that, when you first kind of started, working on this thing, whether it's an artistic thing, whether it's a career, it could be a relationship, it could be a family thing, right? Whatever it might be. I feel like it's not really that old, And I feel like we're still in that phase where we're not sure exactly what we want it to be. I think we had expectations, and I think it's a very pleasant surprise to have something grow beyond our expectations. Yeah. I feel like that's a good feeling. It comes with a lot of responsibilities, though. You know, it comes with a lot of extra work. Yeah. But you can handle it, right? You're a Taurus. You can handle anything. Incidentally, though, this card is your power card. Okay? This is your superpower. And I'm sorry, I don't have the bell to ring right now because this is a new studio. If you haven't noticed, I don't have all my, well, I got a lot of my toys out, but I don't have, the bell is in another box, to be honest with you, and I don't know exactly where it is. But let's just pretend we're ringing the bell. Your superpower in this case is really to commit to something in such a way that the goal that you place in your mind, and I think that this was a rather modest goal, and I say, well, it'd be nice if this just was a nice side business or a hobby or something, and I just want to, you know, I just want to have relative success or small, so whatever your goals were. Maybe you said, well, this is going to be an international success, right? You set a goal and you commit to it and you're going to meet that goal, okay? And I think that's kind of your way, you know, setting a reasonable goal, an attainable goal. What you don't really plan for is what happens when you totally surpass that goal, when things blow up beyond belief. I don't think you're someone that plans for that. You know, especially we got the, you know, the Seven of Swords, let's not forget. So I think we plan. You're a planner. You're committed. You show up every day. You do your put in your best effort, right? But I think we just kind of plan for that goal. We don't plan for anything beyond. You know, when you're doing a project, you kind of like to take a little extra material with you. You know, just in case things go long or things go extra. If you're working, maybe you pack an extra couple snacks in case the day is longer, you know. No, not you. 8 hours, I'm planning for 8 hours. I've got everything. I've only brought enough water for 8 hours, you know, of a work day. And I think that's kind of how we approach life a lot of the time. That we have our expectation, or we have what the promise was, or what we were told would be the thing, or the goal, you know, that we set in our mind. And that's what we plan for. I brought just enough money to like catch the train there and back and buy like one soft drink while I'm there, you know. Nothing extra. And then then if that's the case, it's very important that things go according to plan. What if the night goes long? What if, you know, you're with your friends and everybody has the idea to go somewhere else and have dinner or something? You didn't prepare for that, right? And it's kind of like, even though this is an amazing opportunity, I don't think the planning was there for what happens if this really takes off, right? And so there's the need really for this evaluation to really understand how you feel about this. Right? I don't think you're someone that likes surprises. I think is what really it comes down to. Good surprises or bad surprises, it's a surprise. I wasn't expecting this. I didn't plan for this. It's like suddenly your boss says, hey, we're going to the beach. I didn't bring my sunscreen. I didn't get the babysitter. I don't have anything I need to go to the beach. Like that's kind of, it's fun, sure, but I'm not prepared for that, right? I think that's kind of how this is happening for you. Yeah. Again, it's a very good problem to have, but it requires us to adapt on the fly, to be able to really have that vision and say, okay, what is the future going to be like? What is the rest of the day really going to be now? Like, you know, actual, in real numbers, what are we talking about here, right? We have our expectations. We have the goal that we have set, but this is what is actually happening. Okay, so we have to look ahead and say, okay, in a real accurate kind of sense, you know, in real numbers, real dollars here, what is the day going to be like? What is the next week, month, 5, 10 years going to be like? And what do you need to do to plan and prepare, not only in the physical world with the physical resources and all this kind of stuff, but prepare for it mentally and emotionally, as well as energetically. 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands. Because the last thing we want to do is work so hard on this and get so burned out that you're not feeling it anymore. And the Judgment card at the end, the Eon, this is the new era for you. you're really leveling up your life in such a way that it's going to require you to transform your energy a little bit. This is a fiery doorway. It's not meant to be super easy to get through, right? It's hardship. It is grueling work. And so in that sense, the Ten of Wands really says that you've got to push your hardest to get through this without saying, well, the grass is greener on a different lawn, so I'm just going to abandon this and go back where I came from. It is going to take a lot of effort, and you really have to commit yourself. And that's why you've got to keep your eye on the bigger picture so that you don't lose motivation when it really starts to get difficult. I mean, we think it's hard work now. It's going to get harder, okay? But the payoff is so much more. Let's look at the mystery card. Let's see. I would obviously love to see some water energy, right? I think we need some kind of relief, some kind of cooling down from all of this fiery energy and this earth energy. But fire and earth, I mean, that's what it's all about. It's kind of like you put this in motion and it's kind of getting away from you. You know what I mean? And it's taking on a life of its own in a very good way. But we need some sort of reprieve. We need some sort of refreshment. I want either Empress or some really good water cards. Yeah. If you have a prediction, I want you to put it down in the comments. Let's see what we've got. Well, we've got the Justice card, Libra energy. Justice, adjustment, adapting, right? Evaluating. First of all, evaluating. Okay. And that's kind of what we're doing here. And so I think this is a big confirmation that, hey, we've got to do this introspective work now. Now is the time for you to weigh the options. Now is the time for you to look at the future and figure out how you feel about it. Really like evaluate. Moving ahead with this amazing future of success and abundance, but also a lot of hard work and a lot more burden and a lot more responsibilities, or just kind of stay where I am, shoot for kind of smaller targets or shoot for smaller goals, really, right? How do we evaluate that, right? We need to do that introspective work to figure out if this is something that we really want, and then how do we prepare for it? What can we do to make sure that we're enjoying it, make sure that we take care of ourselves, make sure we eat, make sure we get enough water, right? And make sure that we are able to take care of all of our responsibilities, right? You get so wrapped up in your business life that maybe you forget to pay a bill at home, This is an all-consuming thing. There's a lot going on, and we've got to stay organized. This is really a card of organization. This is a card of agreements, partnerships, yeah? This is a card of kind of, really in a literal way, hiring people to help you. Yeah, hiring people to help you. And I think you'll get to that point where it's just like, I can't do all this myself, And that's a certain milestone when you have to start hiring people to help, either employees or, I don't even know, tax people or construction people or whatever, business, like a manager or something. That's really a big moment. But I think that moment's coming for you. I think that this is going to be incredibly amazing, beyond your expectations. Yeah, but in a good way. I'm excited for you. We're going to do an extended. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Taurus every Monday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time, here in the new studio. It looks very similar to the old studio, and that was by design. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Does not cost you anything. And also leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. All right. I want you to know, Taurus, that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.